What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is the video you guys have been waiting for. This is the make or break video. So we have finally finished up the build for Stas's car, and we dropped the engine in off camera, done everything basically. We just need to put the fluids in, oil and coolant, and we also need to burp the coolant, and Stas is putting on the mid pipe, but apparently the down pipe is too long for the mid pipe, so we're gonna have to take that into a shop and have them cut a part off and then weld the down pipe to the mid pipe. But yeah, this is the video, guys, so leave down in the comments if you think it's gonna start, not start. Are we gonna have codes or anything, or is it just gonna straight up blow up? So comment down below what you think it's going to be, but right now I'm going to put oil in, starting with the oil, and then I'm going to put some coolant in there, and then we're going to burp the coolant. So let's get doing that. Alright, so I just finished up the oil. Now I'm going to put some coolant in there, and you guys are going to want to start with the upper reservoir right here. So I'm gonna do that real quick, and then we're gonna start it up. You ready for this, Shazi?
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I'm so nervous.
What's it gonna do? Blow up?
Probably. It's probably not even gonna run. Or not even gonna make compression, but I'm assuming the worst, so.
No, hope for the best, dude.
Yeah.
Alright.
Let's hope for the best and prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
There you go.
Guys, so we just kind of majorly screwed up. Well, not too bad. I was putting the coolant in this upper reservoir, and then after a little while, it started leaking all down there. Quite a bit of it. And we figured out the problem, and Stasi did it.
Yeah, unfortunately, one of the lines that runs from the turbo, like if you're facing the car this way, it's on the left side of the turbo. And the bottom line, I completely forgot to plug in. It connects to the head, to the passenger side head. There's like a little, what's it called? There's a plug in there, and I just didn't even put the hose in there at all. It's a banjo bolt, and I missed it, so that's on me. Now I have to take off the intercooler. I'm probably going to have to take off the turbo.
So I guess we're not going to be starting it today.
Yeah, unfortunately.
That kind of sucks. Well, we might put this in one whole video, so you guys are probably going to see it started in this video. But yeah, we're going to be back either tomorrow or the next day because we kind of screwed up. Yeah, the coolant was completely coming out from
that banjo bolt.
Yeah, underneath the turbo.
And I'm having another issue with the car, and the oil pressure light is not coming off, and it's supposed to after you do it like 4 or 5 times. So I don't know what's going on there. If you know, drop it down in the comments below. I really have no idea what is going on. Like the oil pressure light inside the car is not going off. And I really need it to go off, that way I can start it, because without it, like if it stays on, I can't keep cranking the car over, and I can't start the car, because if I'm not building up oil pressure, you're going to damage the entire engine with no oil in it if you start it. Gonna have to do a little more research and have to get back to you. So
yeah, we'll figure that out. But tonight we're gonna clean up our mess, the coolant spill underneath, and call it a night. Alright, 2 days later, and we are back, guys. We fixed all the problems, and we put coolant, oil back in, and yeah, I think she's healthy and ready to start. Sauce is gonna tell you a little bit of what happened the last 2 days.
Yeah, so a couple days ago I noticed that I forgot to plug in one of the coolant lines and one of the oil lines for the turbo. It's like I completely missed them. And then it ended up taking me, I think, like 4 or 5 hours getting them together yesterday. And then after I had finished that, I had noticed that my car wasn't building up oil pressure for some reason. And then I also noticed that Sergei ended up filling the oil filter with oil before he put it back on. And I had contacted some of the members in the group who build motors, and they told me that you're not actually supposed to put oil inside the oil filter when you before you prime your oil system, just because it creates an air pocket in there, and then it doesn't allow you to prime oil properly. So what I did yesterday, as well as I took the oil filter back off, I let it drain for a little bit overnight, and then this morning I plugged everything back in. I left the oil filter off, and I cranked it over for like 35-40 seconds max, just to not, wear out the starter. And then I went back under the car, and I had noticed that there was a giant puddle of oil coming out where, the oil filter was. So I think that might have been the main issue. It's a good thing that our oil pump works. That way I don't have to take everything apart, undo the timing and pull off the oil pump itself. And then one more thing. The car was on jack stands in the front. It was raised, I'd say, probably about 6
or so.
Yes, between 6 inches and a foot, somewhere there. So it was high in the front. I don't know if that has anything to do with not priming oil properly. But after lowering the car and draining all the oil out of the oil filter, we were able to prime the pump properly, and I got the oil pressure light to go off inside the dash, so we're all good there. We have no leaks underneath the engine, like on the engine itself. I checked, double checked, triple checked, and we're ready to start. I also plugged in the fuel pump relay, so we're ready to prime the fuel system now, and then, yeah, basically just crank her over and start her. I want to hop over here. So yeah, the oil pressure is still on. I have a check engine light, and the cruise control is blinking, which is normal. My access port, it's not actually on. Alright. I think I got everything.
That's a loud screeching sound.
I think... Where did that come from? Sounds like one of these belts might be too tight, so that's not a big problem at all. But I'm going to let it run for a little bit. I'm going to pull up IAG's. IAG has a great break-in procedure if you go on their website for, either rebuilding your own motors or buying a short block from them and slapping it in. But I'm going to follow those procedures. I'm going to put a cap on this right now, just so coolant doesn't spill everywhere, and I'm going to let it idle for a little bit. I'm going to figure out what that belt problem is.
Yeah. Now the screeching is gone.
Nice. So yeah, it's definitely the belts.
Are too tight.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a little bit of WD-40 just on them. Oh shit, what is that? I do have there's some smoke coming out.
That might be your wrap to your...
Yeah, it doesn't smell bad, it just smells... Yeah, that's probably just the wrap. It doesn't smell like anything, so I'm gonna leave that be. I'm gonna spray some WD-40 on the belts real quick to get rid of the little squeal. Let's see, what is the best way of doing it? On this one. And then I have one more. I can't really access it. It's kind of hard. All right, let's try that. Yeah, I think that's just the exhaust wrap on here. Yeah, it just smells like wet water. Well, water's already wet, but...
You also had a little puddle of coolant.
That's true.
Down there,
yep.
So that could be it.
I'm going to pull this outside just in case it blows up. No, not really, but... Yeah, I'm going to pull this outside real quick, and then I'm going to do the break-in procedures right now. I have the standard 530 weight non-synthetic conventional in there. And the procedures for that are, it's like, you know, vary the RPM between 2 and 3K. That's what IAG says. Don't let it idle. That's not the proper break-in procedures. It's not going to actually break in the rings on your pistons properly. So I'm going to pull it outside, do that real quick. It's going to take about 20 to 30 minutes, so we'll probably put you on time lapse and kind of see if there are any problems that arise from there.
Figured out that the smoke was definitely from the wrap on the headers and downpipe, and the check engine light went away, as you can see there, and Stoss is monitoring some stuff on the access port, and as you can see, everything looks great except the dam right now. It's at 0.5, but once he reaches a certain RPM, it should go back up to 1.
But other than that, like, I'm really fucking excited.
Dude, you built this basically all yourself, and
my bedroom.
Yeah, part in your bedroom and then part in the garage. And what, the only light you got on
is the ABS light, and that's probably one of the sensors on there.
Yeah, as you guys can see right there, just an ABS light.
Yeah,
but
for the break-in procedures off of IAG's website right now, I'm just waiting for the coolant to go up to 180, 190, and not go higher than that. 194, 195, I think is like the max. But it says after that you're gonna have to let's see. Oil pressure should stabilize and drop once engine has reached operating temperature. Run car until coolant fan cycle, making sure that the thermostat opens, and that's all I'm waiting on right now for this car. And then the next step after that, it says drive vehicle very easy for the first 50 miles using a break-in ECU map, and like I said before, I'm using the COP Stage 2 tune, 91 octane. It's, you know, it's mild, it's nothing huge on it. And it says making sure to keep the RPMs below 4,000. So, you know, we'll make sure it doesn't reach above that. We won't go into boost. Yeah, and it says in bold words, capital bold words, 0 boost, 1 to 2 psi max, and then vary RPM in load conditions while driving and shift down / decel. Engine brake whenever possible. Engine braking equals good vacuum conditions equals happy engine.
all right, so are we gonna go on a cruise right now after it heats
I got
up?
no exhaust, so it's gonna be loud as shit.
Oh.
But it's just downpipe right now, and
Yeah.
I know I have the Blitz muffler attached in the back, but there's no mid pipe, so it's just going from the downpipe.
Let's show him real quick. I don't know if you guys can see, but he's just got the exhaust, the downpipe right there, and then his Blitzner. No mid-pipe. All right.
ECU is relearning itself right now, you know, just because of the engine overhaul, relearning the, you know, air to fuel and stuff. So yeah, we're just waiting for the coolant temp to rise to 190, 195, and and then I'm gonna take it around for a cruise around the block, and we'll see if it breaks.